All right, everybody, we're back. We're back, and we're gonna go ahead and try to get at least some artwork done today. Picking up where we left off, uh, working on this kind of painting of Jesus that is one of the, I guess, one of the earliest images of Jesus. And like I said before, I wanted to work on something that was biblical for the start of the year. So, it can't get more biblical than drawing Jesus. So I figure let's go ahead and continue on and adding color and just going with it. So this is where we left off. We got our sketch in. You know, I got some markers. I figured we would go with markers and then maybe we'll touch it with paint at the end. So I was thinking maybe we could do some flesh tones in today. Um, his hands are very red in the actual image. I don't. That's probably maybe just a limitation on the colors that they had. But as we all know, Jesus is like a bronze kind of color, so we need to go, you know, to make him more bronze. I think more of a darker color is what we're going to try to end up going with. So I wanted to start with something light. The problem is, a lot of my markers have dried up. I use some versions of Copic markers. That's some Copic markers. I think we can just go in and just kind of like give him some color for right now. And then we can kind of build upon it as we go and make him darker as we go. I think the main goal is always to just, kind of layer upon colors. When you want to add color, and that's how I like to do it. I like to layer. So we're gonna just start with very light, with the lightest kind of flesh tone I've got, and we'll build upon it. Making him darker as we go. Um, so this will make him look a lot lighter, but we will, like I said, we're gonna get him to where he's the color I want. Just using this as a base, and I think that's the direction I want to go. Is go with a base color first, a color that's gonna be lighter, and then kind of build upon it. And we can always once we hit it with paint. I think that's when it's really going to start to shine through. Obviously, some of the because we're using markers, some of the pencil will smear. I'm not really too concerned about that either. I feel like you can always adjust things and fix things later. We just want to have the good idea of where everything is. And we're gonna darken them up as we build upon it. So just mainly just getting some color in. You know, in the image I'm looking at too, it has his lips very pinkish. Um, I think we can go with that too. We can make it kind of pink. Which I think I have a pinkish kind of color. Let me see, is this pink? Or which one is this? This is a 0, so that's not what I'm looking for. And this is a 0, that's not what I'm looking for. Those are blend colors. So I thought I had a pinkish, here we go. This is kind of a pinkish kind of color here. So this looks more red though. I mean, we can kind of like see how this works out. We don't want it to be too red. See, that's a little bit too red. So I may need to actually dull that down. So what we can do is just hit it with the pink, which will be fine for right now. We can hit it with the pink, and then we just kind of, I think, we'll make some adjustments. I got an idea for it. So even though it's pink, I think when we go over with the paint is where we can dull it down and make it less hot pinkish. But we're gonna have to wash it like this. We can dull it down with wash. Wash it down like this, right? And we're gonna be able to change it even more once we see. We can wash it down. We can wash it down, and what you do is, I don't have like a rag or something, so I'll just use my finger, and we'll wash it down more. You know, um, and that will dull it down. See, there we go. So that will dull it down some, and then what I'll do is I'll come back and hit it up with, when I paint it, we can make adjustments to dull it down even more than that. Um, as far as the hair, we'll work that in too. I think I want to kind of take some other colors. Let's see, how dark is this one, and how much is this still wet? Yeah, see, some of them are actually dried out, and I think this is the one that's dried out. Yeah. Let me see how dried out that is. Yeah, that's dried out. So this one's a one I'm gonna have to throw out. I'm gonna just throw that one on the floor. Let's see if we go with this, and we can kind of start to build some layers. I really like using Copic markers, but once they dry out, they're done, man. You have to actually get new markers, and that's what I have to do. I'm gonna have to get some new markers. Which I haven't bought. And Copic markers are very expensive, man. So once they are done, they're done, dude, too. That's the other thing. They're done. Once they're done, man. I really need like a rag or something. So now we can just keep kind of going darker as we want to make him darker. And I think the main thing is to like hit these spots in here. Oh, of course, this one's dried out too, and this was a good color I needed. That's okay. As we go through them, we'll go through them and figure out what's still good and what's not, man. Okay, so this is a little bit of a brighter color. But that might actually work. Go a little bit brighter. I think we might have to kind of, like I said, do some dulling down of some colors and stuff, which will be fine. We'll just work it in, The main thing is we want to get some color going, and we can always adjust it later, man. That's the thing. It's like not to be so much afraid of what we're doing here. It's just about maybe going a little darker each step of the way. Let's see. This one looks like, hopefully this one's still good. Okay, that looks good. And we can blend these in, give it a little bit more. Every step of the way, we'll just go a little bit more, Remember, his hair is supposed to be thick like sheep's wool, so we want it to represent that too as much as we can, you know. You know, I know his beard is a little bit stringy in the drawing, but that's just how they did it. So we're just gonna go along with that. Let me see how dark this one is. Oh, okay, I kind of like this. This is like a mocha kind of. I think this might work. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like that. And we will come back with paint, like I said, to kind of like make it even tighter as we go, you know. I think the main thing for today is I want to get some color in, and we're just going to kind of build upon, you know. Build upon, build upon, build upon. And his hair, like I said, is supposed to be really thick, so we shall kind of push his hair thick as we can, make it look thick as we can, you know. What is this tone here? What we got here? This is a 850. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, this might not be the color I want, but let's just see. Let's just see if this gives us kind of the what I'm thinking. It's okay. Not exactly what I was looking for, but it's okay. It's kind of like a little bit there. A little bit there. And we can work that out as we go there. A lot of the tones we're just going to have to kind of build upon and make him more bronze as we go. Like I kind of like this clay. Let me see how dark this clay is. This might be a little too dark, but what we can do is just kind of like test it out on this side, because this is got a little bit more shadowy on this side, so we can kind of see. Just do like a light kind of test here. Bring the shadows in. You know. Which this one is actually dried out. So that is done. This one is done too. Dried out. Well, you know, it's a good test because I'm going to definitely learn what is dried out and what is not, which is fine. Oh, okay, yeah, I like this. So we can definitely have some of this in there. Real light with that. And I can actually take our 0 and kind of bring that in. Bring that in, so. Okay. So this is a keeper. This one here is a keeper. Let's see what else we got we can work with. What color we got here? Is this another like a grayish kind of color? Let me see here. Oh, don't tell me you dried out too. I think this one might have dried out on me too. So this one sucks. It's definitely dried out, y'all. It's not enough in there to give me the effect I want. All right, so we're gonna have to throw this one out too. So I'm definitely losing a lot on these markers, but like I said, we're learning as we go. What we got here? This is a deep orange. Let's see if this deep orange can give us some kind of an effect we want. Let's see. Okay. It kind of gives me the effect I want right there, I guess. Let's see if we can get in here. Get some of that. Go in there. Kind of lighten that up. Come on in with that. That's good. That's good. I like that. Okay. A deep orange mixed with some of that. Come on in with this. Okay. This should be more darker in there, so we're gonna go with a brown, really dark brown, I think, in there. Let's see what kind of brown we got. Okay, this is a good copper. Let's see how this copper looks, you know. We can just keep testing as we go, you know, and see if we can get the skin tone a little bit darker as we go, y'all. That's gonna be better. Let's see. Kind of want to be a little bit darker along those edges there. Just like that. Okay. And I can really come in here. We can really come in right in here with this. Just like that. Okay. Come in right here, and then we can bring that down like that. Okay. And we can get a little bit there, a little bit here. Okay. I think that's gonna be fine like that. Let me see, where's that wash? I had that wash, right? What did I do with that wash? This one will wash it. Let's see if we can wash it down some. So I want to kind of like fade it. Okay, this one's not working for me. Where's the other one? It's pink flamingo. Let's see, I think this one, well, there we go. Pink flamingo does it. And then we can bring it down to wash it out like this, which will give us an effect here. Yep. And it comes like that. Okay. And that should be more like that. There we go. That's kind of the wash color I was looking for there. And this can come up a little higher. Okay. Okay. And this, actually, we want more of that on this side as well. So let me, where's that copper? We'll put a little bit of copper on this side. And then we're gonna wash it down with this, because this will do the wash down for us. So let's do it. Boom. And that's going to give us a little blend that we want there. Okay. Just got to work that in. Just like that. Boom. Okay. Add some of that over here. Okay. And we just keep building this up as we go, y'all. And it'll start to come together as we get, you know, more and more in there. I think this pink flamingo is really doing what I want when I want to blend some colors in. What color was this again? Was this the yeah. So we can actually come back with some more pink flamingo in there. And we can kind of build this on up how we want it. Okay, and we're going to continue to build upon this as we go, y'all. It's a dark Sutan. Let's get in there and do some hair. See how we can maybe start to brown his hair. And we'll come back with more darker colors because his hair should be dark and it should be thick. We want it to be thick. His hair should be very thick. You know, that's the thing about his hair. Thick like sheep's wool. You know. So we're gonna start blotting it in, you know. And we're gonna come in with some blacks. And not blacks, but darker browns. Darker browns. We're gonna come in with darker browns, y'all. For the hair. So we're gonna make it a lot darker. I should have some darker browns. Like this one here is a cashew. We can definitely go with this cashew. Let's see how dark this is. Is this dark enough? Oh yeah, it's pretty dark. And we can just kind of blot his hair. We want it to be nice and dark. You know, it should be like wool, so we want it to be kind of, I think, a little jaggedy at the, you know, like that. And we're going to just darken it in. You know, we're going to darken it in. And we definitely want this part here to be darker. You know. Like I always say, man, just have fun with what you're doing. And we're going to keep working it. You know, I never really worry about being perfect or exact. And I'm not trying to make it exactly like the artwork previously was done. So we're going to do it in our own way, you know, as we go along. And we'll make it our own, you know. The main thing is his hair is supposed to be thick. We want it to look thick. You know, his hair is supposed to be thick. So it needs to look thick. You know. And I think we're achieving that. And that's all that matters. You know, every artist will have their own way of doing things, and I, you know, definitely have my own way of doing things. And I think we are going to achieve it this way. And actually we could do this. There we go. And we can go even darker still. Let me find another. I know I have a darker brown somewhere. Let's see this. I think this is a good one. Let's see. Okay, this is more of a leathery kind of brown. So let's see how this looks. We can kind of like start to, kind of do like this. Get in there maybe. Maybe we go leather in the middle. Kind of like adding different colors in there. And I just like having fun with it, man. Is it gonna be like the artwork 100%? No, it's not. Is it gonna be our own version? Yes, it is. It's gonna be our own version of this, And we gotta remember his ear is like right there poking out. So I kind of want to touch his ear up again with one of the lighter colors for right now. Just so we know that this is his ear right here. And we can go darker around it. You can definitely go darker around it. So we know that his ear is right in there. Okay. Okay. And we definitely can go even darker still. So let's see. I want to see what other browns do I have. So I think the cashew was the darkest one I got right now. So we might have to put some blacks in there. We can kind of just come in. We can definitely come in here. Start to add in the shapes and colors here. And we'll continue this as long as, till we get it to where we want, You can always layer on top of layer, You can keep doing all kinds of different layers. We can keep layering. That's the thing about it. You can keep layering, and you want to always be considerate of that and know that, you can keep layering. And if you make a mistake, you can always hit it up later to rectify a mistake. So don't be scared of making mistakes. I think you can always adjust it later. It's looking good though. We're going to keep darkening them in and building upon what we're doing. And I definitely want the hair to be darker. So I need to find my blacks. And I think this is a good start, This is a good start, and we can definitely touch on the hands. So let's do this. I can take some pink flamingo. Because his hands are very red in the actual, so we can go in with pink flamingo. I don't know why his hands are so red, but they are very red. In the actual, that's probably just, like I said, a limitation of the colors they had at the time. But we can definitely go with pink flamingo for this. And we can build upon that, making it more brownish or copperish color. Okay, and we can just keep building upon this as we go, y'all. How much time have we done? We're at 30 minutes? Are we at 30 minutes, y'all? Wow. So I think we've touched on the time for today. Um, that really sucks. Time flies when I start doing artwork, and I really get into it. I really enjoy doing artwork, y'all. I can do this. To me, this is really fun. I don't know if you have your own relaxing thing, but you can always draw with me, paint with me. I enjoy doing this. Um, and the thing is you can always, you know, if you make a mistake, you can always fix it. So don't be afraid, y'all. Um, this is my thought process on this. Um, is to just have fun, man. I have fun with this. I love painting and drawing and stuff. you know. Okay. I mean, we're kind of working all this in, and I like the way it's coming out. Like I said, we'll keep stacking more colors on top. And when we paint, we can actually fix a lot of these things and making the hair darker. Tightening up the beard. Making the hands look a little bit more bronze instead of that red color. We'll go with gold in here, gold in there with the red lines, gold, blue sky with buildings, and the drapery is more of a brown and a gold color in here. So maybe we can do something different with the drapery. We can figure that out to make it our own. But it's going to come out nice, and we'll keep working with markers until we are ready for paint, and then we'll touch up with the paint, and then at the end maybe we'll sign it here or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I think we have a good base of what we got going here. I need to take this pink flamingo. I need to kind of I really need to have a dab brush here, because this part here needs to be kind of faded out a little bit. Which we can always, like I said, we can always make some adjustments. You want to kind of fade this stuff out a little bit. But it will be fine in the end. When we finish everything, it's gonna be fine. Trust in that. I know what I'm talking about here. It's nothing to worry about. We will make a lot of adjustments. We will make a lot of adjustments as we go. And this is gonna work. Everything's gonna come out nice. And like I said, we'll come in with darker colors and everything, and it's gonna look a lot nicer as we go. But we're at our time limit for today. It's almost 4 o'clock. We'll come back on Wednesday. We'll continue adding color and just layering it on top of layers. And we got the color palette, it's given to us, but we can modify it as we go with the jewels, in the Bible here. And the skin tone, we'll just keep working that as we go as well. I really like what we got started. Like our base is starting to come out. We're gonna go with a light blue sky. There's like some green shrubbery, or it looks like some kind of green shrubbery down at the bottom, and then some buildings in the background, just very low to his shoulders. So I think we can go with that. It's kind of hard to make out from this picture that I have from online, but you know, we'll do the best we can with it. And yeah, so I'll see y'all on Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, you can always join in on the artwork. You know, break out your pen, paper, whatever you got. You know, whatever supplies you got, break out and just follow along, man. And we'll just have fun with it as we go. So till next time.